Hey you, are you a fan of Netflix's Stranger Things? Well, sit tight because today we're going to look at one of the songs featured in this hit TV series.
It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Hold for the intro. What's going on? I'm Jeron Music. Welcome to my channel where I do all things music, including reactions, breakdowns, covers, originals, teaching, you name it. So hit the subscribe button. You'll be the first to know when you turn on the notification bell when I put out new content. So let's talk about it. Stranger Things. If you have been out of town in outer space or you lost your cousin's Netflix password, then maybe you're not familiar with Stranger Things, but the rest of the world knows that this has been a wonderful hit TV series since about 2016, I think, when it premiered. I hopped on the bandwagon then. I would watch season 1. Life got in the way, and I have since revisited it because at the time of this recording, 2022, season 4 has premiered, and it's all the buzz on social media with a couple of trends and stuff. So I thought it'd be cool to revisit the series from the beginning and look at it from the lens of a musician, being that I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, teacher, producer, etc. And obviously there's so much music, it's rich in it, and spoiler alert, it's set in the 80s, so obviously the music that they use in the TV show is 80s inspired, the actual hits of that era. And I think there's some original compositions for the score and the background music that has been created in modern times by wonderful, talented composers, but it's also 80s inspired, using 80s synths and instruments. So again, it's just oozing 80s nostalgia for someone like me who's a kid of the 80s. I was born then, and I grew up with that music. So I thought it'd be very cool to share with you my thoughts on how these creators for the show of Stranger Things are utilizing music, placing it in certain scenes to kind of evoke emotions, utilizing the lyrics, the tone, etc., anything that has to do with music. So let's dig in. All right, so season 1, episode 1, where I'm going to start. There's a lot of music that they utilize in just this episode alone, so I can't possibly do everything, but I am going to look at one song in particular that really resonated with me, and you'll see the lyrics. I put it on the screen. It's called Africa by a band named Toto. Yes, that is an 80s band name. And again, if you are a millennial like me or older, then you are already familiar with the song. I'm sure you've sang it at a bar, at a wedding. You grew up hearing it on the radio way before streaming, but if you are a Gen Z or younger, welcome, and hopefully you've heard the song, but if you haven't, that's okay. Today you're going to. So what I'm going to look at is a little bit of the song, and again, the lyrics, the emotions it's evoking, why I think they chose it for that particular scene, and I'll go from there. So let's get started.
I hear the drums echoing tonight. She only hears whispers of some quiet conversation.
All right, so a couple of things, and again, I'm going under the assumption that you've never heard the song, but I recognize a lot of people watching probably have. When this song came out in the 80s, it became a big hit. It's just a beautiful melody, but most people are familiar with the chorus, which I haven't gotten to yet. This is the verse, and interestingly enough, everyone always sings the chorus. You know, you'll hear it when it comes up because it just has these feel-good feelings and emotions. But a lot of people don't know the words to the verse, myself included. So it's interesting when I was doing this cover, as you see up on the screen, me having to learn the lyrics for the first time. I've played this song before in bands as a bass player, but never really as the singer. So let's take a look at it. I hear the drums echoing tonight, but she only hears whispers of some quiet conversation. So I always find it fascinating why the creators of any show, TV, film, even commercials, choose the music that they do to synchronize to their visuals up on the screen. Obviously, it's to evoke an emotion out of us as the viewer, to kind of bring us into that scene, or maybe it's a product and a brand. And marketers do this well, but also storytellers use this as a device. So right now, just from a lyrical standpoint, these two lyrics have nothing to do with the scene. And again, I'll try not to do spoiler alerts, I'll try to be vague, but this scene is between two of the characters, Nancy and Steve, and they kind of have a budding romance. So something's happening there the whole episode, and this song's been playing in the background, building up to the anticipation. So let's keep listening to the rest of it.
She's coming in a 12:30 flight. The moonlight wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation.
All right, so these next two lines, she's coming in 12:30 flight, the moonlight wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. All right, so just, again, looking at the song alone as written as a song musical composition, lyrically, as a listener, I'm obviously know that this is a duo. There's a girl, the she. We haven't had the pronoun for the opposite person. I'm going to assume it's a boy, it's a man, because that's usually how these songs were written. Doesn't mean they have to always be that way. And obviously we have kind of a sense of action here. Coming in, 12:30 flight, the moonlight wings. So she's coming in. It's a trip. He's waiting for her. The moonlight wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I kind of like that. That's some imagery. That's what good songs can do. Obviously, now we know we have a time of day, maybe, a nighttime. So yeah, let's keep going.
I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies.
All right, these two lines I like a lot. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words or ancient melodies. So this is cool. Obviously, people, when you hear the title of the song, Africa, and then these two lines really kind of marry with that. All right, Africa, distant land, far off land. And, quick history lesson, back in the 80s, Africa was in the news for a lot of different things, some challenging issues, but also a lot of people were made aware of its beautiful culture because media caught up and news channels and whatnot. But I think at that time, a lot of people put a lot of mystique around that concept. And whereas today we are more familiar with it thanks to the internet, movies, and media, I think this lyricist, the songwriter, was trying to evoke a sense of ambiguity, mysticism, an ancient world. And obviously, now we have three characters in the song. The she, the girl, the boy, the man, who I assume is singing the song, and then this old man who he speaks to. Now, how it relates to Stranger Things? Literally not so much yet, other than this song is kind of ambiguous, it's uncertain, and obviously a lot of Stranger Things, the TV series, and the scene is kind of like that as well. So again, there is no right or wrong here. These are just my opinions, my thoughts as a musician, as a viewer, as a listener, why I think they are using these songs and doing it effectively, because I do think the music is a huge part of the show, aside from obviously the wonderful acting, the storyline, the special effects, and so on. Let's keep listening.
He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you.
All right, those two lines are real cool. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. Meaning he's implying the old man didn't really say anything, but as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you, encouraging him to go after something. And again, this was very cool for me as a musician, as a listener. I never knew the exact words of the verses. I think a lot of people are like that. Some people are great at memorizing lyrics, spot on, musicians or non-musicians. Myself, I tend to focus on the music first, the beat, the rhythm, the hooks, and then kind of the lyrics are secondary for me sometimes. And here's the part that everyone knows, and if you're not familiar with it, well, then now you will be.
It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had.
All right, yeah. So if you've heard the song, hopefully you're smiling and you appreciate my rendition. I tried to kind of find the right key for me and do some quick harmonies just to kind of flesh it out, since it's just a stripped down piano version. For those of you that haven't listened to it, I encourage you to listen to the original. It's very 80s, but it's a very crafty song production, and it's got a lot of layers and cool sounds. It's a beautiful recording. So yeah, lyrically, it's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. So this is the part that everyone knows and why I think the creators, the showrunners of Stranger Things selected this song. And I don't know the exact specifics, but I do know that behind the scenes for any TV show, film, there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. There's music supervisors clearing the music. There's, the director, again, the people that write the script for the episode. Obviously, cast, crew, actors are important as well. Everyone's important in their role. But whoever had the final decision in selecting this song, they did so for a reason. And again, trying to be vague, in this scene between Nancy and Steve, all along the episode, it's just kind of been building up, and this song is playing, and then it, culminates to a moment and it plays. I think they synced it that way. It's because we, the audience, who are familiar with the song, and even if you're not, it's a feel-good song. The lyrics, it's anthemic. It creates a certain emotion of joy, but also longing and release, and that could be why they chose it for that scene. And I thought it was really cool, and that's the one of all the music, at least in that episode, that stuck out to me. So yeah, I'm curious. Let me know. Drop in the comments, why do you think they chose this song for that moment in the episode? I'd be very, very curious to hear. Please also make some recommendations about other series that you think I should look at. I plan to make this a series with Stranger Things as I'm watching the episodes, select songs, do a little mini cover, talk about it, my thoughts as a musician from my perspective. Also remember, I'm encouraging you to subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Help me out to grow the channel. I'm going to put a playlist of things here that you should watch next, and I'll see you next time.